top 10 hits. It's a real pleasure to welcome back to the program Dannii and Minogue. I'll be a gentleman. You go first. Sit down,
I believe this is Ross's.
Oh my God, he did throw a peanut down there.
I was watching from my dressing room the whole story about the awards thing, and you just think, oh, it can't get any worse until we're doing the line-up shot in the green room, and there they are having fun throwing around peanuts, and I'm like, oh! And the camera's still rolling, and I think, do I grab it now, or do I just... So the camera comes back, I'm like... And this is Ross's. So now he has an even more embarrassing story for his parents.
Look at that. That's a fair nut. Can I keep that? There we go. Now, it must always be nice to be home for you.
Yes, yes. It's fantastic. Just when I fly into Melbourne, it's an amazing feeling because I've been kind of living in London for a long time, but... Good to be back, and my heart is pounding being in this studio.
It's the old YTT Hello Balls.
Yeah.
Now, I believe last time you were here, you actually stole something from the wardrobe department.
I think that's why the security guy didn't want to let me in the front gate. Stop her!
Now, why would you want an old YTT outfit?
I thought, you know... I just asked if they were all still here, and they're all still here, like, you know, the waistcoat vests and in gold lame and all the costumes, and I found this little pink and orange dress with sequins all over it, and I just thought, you know, I left the show with a lot of memories, but with nothing physical, so...
Because there's I mean, we've got footage here of a fantastic YTT outfit, and I just can't imagine why would you want anything like this? I'm assuming this isn't the one you took, but that's a nice...
That's not the one.
No. So, but they're still here. Is that frightening?
Everything's still here. Yes. I'll put it all on eBay tomorrow.
Excellent, excellent. Now, also you must... Oh, hang on, sorry.
That's your nut.
There we go. Now,
some people are into...
Now, I'm just warning you, because any time you head out now, there will be gentlemen walking around with handfuls of macadamias. Come on!
I'm so not going to any bars while I'm here.
But I also hear now that you're back, you've got a new place that you've bought, because you normally would live with Mum and Dad, or stay with Mum and Dad when you come home. Yeah. Now you've got your own place.
It's quite known that, yeah, the Minogue Villa, we all kind of come back home for some pampering. But, yeah, I'm purchasing a place here in Melbourne, which is... kind of, again, like an old haunt for me. It's the old Chevron building, and if you're from Melbourne, you know it.
It's an old nightclub.
Yeah.
Well,
lots of misspent days there, dancing and whatnot. But, yeah, it's really exciting to kind of, you know, I guess I'm splitting myself between here and London.
And the club down, like, I assume, like, all the apartments would be built on top of it. It's not like you can just, you know, go down, get smashed and just stagger back up in the lift.
Yeah, the club's not there anymore, but there's an old building they're building around, and it's going to be amazing.
Now, I would also assume, I know you're really here for the MTV Awards, but you will also be going to the Grand Prix, because you're an F1 nut.
Absolutely love
all this talk of driving in a Minardi car you must be salivating at the idea.
Well, I got offered many times to go in the two-seater when I was going to a lot of the races, and I actually don't like going fast. Love watching it, but I don't like going fast.
Really?
So I said no, and all my mates were going, oh, God, didn't you tell them I'd go for you? So... yeah.
Now, of course, and I have to ask this question. Going to the Grand Prix, will it be awkward for you because your ex-lover, Jacques Villeneuve, will obviously be there? Will you be worried about walking around, and if you bump into him, will it be awkward or anything like that?
I was in London, and I read on some website saying, oh, it's going to be really awkward. Danny's there, and this will be the first time she sees Jacques since they split up. And in fact, it's not true. We speak all the time, and I saw him at Silverstone Race in London, and he's invited me as his guest. So it's nice to catch up with him. I've got many other friends there, and Mark Webber, you know, will be screaming for him.
How do you think he'll
Hopefully the car will finish this race.
Well, that's last time he was on the show, that's what he was saying to us. He said for him a victory will just be finishing the race, which sounds odd.
Yeah, I mean, first race is always really hard because it's the cars and new setups, and there's a lot of rule changes this year, and anyone who's not into F1 is like totally by now, but if you're into F1, you know what I'm saying.
But also the idea of you, you know, talking about attending events and things like that, because you do, and often, you know, as a VIP, you get, you know, special treatment in and out and all that kind of thing. But I understand you went to see Madonna recently with Kylie, and it got a little bit, the audience got a little bit freaked out with you there.
Well, I went with my sister and my brother, and we had organised, we went in the back way, like we drove the car right into the venue. It was pretty cool, and we said that we'll go into the audience after the lights go down just so there's no hassle for anyone. And we'd been waiting backstage for ages, and then the guard said, right, now it's time, there's all walkie-talkies, and they're leading us through, and we sit down, and then suddenly we realise the show's not about to start, and there was this really awkward 20 minutes when we're sitting there, and the whole of Earl's Court turned to face us, and as you know, mobile phones have cameras now.
Yes.
It was just in unison, every hand went into the pocket and just went... And Kylie and I like, just thinking, Madonna's going to have us knocked off when we leave here. And my brother was beside me, who likes not to be in the limelight, and he just turns to me and says, do you ever get the feeling that we're being watched? So we were like, come on, get her on that stage. It was a brilliant concert. We all, you know, danced our socks off. It was fantastic.
Well, and I tell you what, speaking of being watched, it will be happening when we return after the break, because you're going to join us for a very exciting edition of My Charada.
My Charada!
Which I can't wait for, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, please thank Dannii Minogue, everybody.